muscle is trying to do the job when it doesn't need to do the job. It's trying to help out and take over for other muscles. And even if he hadn't had the stroke, if this muscle was doing like this, it would be really painful. So when we get trigger points, you ever got a trigger point up in your shoulder? You know how uncomfortable that is? So that's essentially what's going on right here, his arm here. And interestingly enough, this muscle that's turning on when we don't want it to, does that when you have trigger points in this muscle. So that's why this, even though it looks like we're making it, there's nothing to do, Steph. Getting that tissue better is a big piece of the puzzle and making the pain be better. Now on Thursday, we started looking at other reflexes besides just the protective reflexes. And when we were dealing with it, what we noticed was that one of the ones that affect your balance is very, very, I guess, disinhibited. So when he turns his head with any amount of speed, his eyes, okay, which would make you automatically have a lot of guarding and protecting of your body.
Right.
And if we want to settle that guarding and protecting down, we have to start dealing with making that vestibular part better. So we're going to start doing some exercises, and we'll work you and talk with you as it goes. In particular, you know, a person who has these may not even realize that it's going on. Like, until I videoed, I don't think he really saw what his eyes were doing. What the person feels more often when they don't have any awareness of it is anxiety, irritability, like a flashpoint of panic. And the one thing they need is good partnering when it happens. So I want you to be aware so you don't take it personal if he turns into like an instant bear, because it's not personal at all. And sometimes, unless we like call it what it is, even the patient will be aware, and they'll, you know, it'll be upsetting to them because they don't want to upset their partner or anybody. But it'll be like a little flashpoint of the brain going, holy shit, get the hell out of here. And in particular, it's the one time for sure they don't need you to be mad and take off. You know, so if you ever have those moments, resist the temptation. And what needs to happen is, just like if you were in a bad accident, need to just stop, breathe, reestablish being focused that everything's okay. It's just that reflex. But you really got to talk yourself through it. It really isn't one of those things where you can just ignore it.
Right.
If you ignore it, it gets worse. And especially when you don't realize what's causing it. Feel that big twitch in your muscle there? That's that trigger point. So as we get these trigger points out of here, this should stop happening so much too.
My arm became maroon red 3 times Sunday.
Yeah, I notice I see your hand get red like that.
It gets like that a lot.
We put the massager on it to circulate, you know, and it helped, and it did it again in the daytime.
When it does that, he gets a lot of
Pain
pain.
up in the shoulder? Yeah. And I think that's probably associated with the same kind of thing where we're holding a lot of tension up in that area. And not able to, so you have a bundle of nerves coming out through this area where the muscle wants to stay tight, and you also have a little blood supply coming through there. So whenever that muscle tightens up, then naturally everything's going to kind of get the response from it.
We put the massager on it
calm it down or relax it, help with circulation.
Yeah.
Circulate the
It'll,
blood.
it'll turn back regular color after using a massager on it.
And that makes total sense because what you're doing is making all the muscles kind of relax and calm down. And up here, we're going to have to get up here too.
You want to take my shirt off? Okay.
We can't, these people can't handle that much sexy in here. What are you
I
thinking,
know.
Rusty?
Bringing sexy back,
You bring sexy all up in here, people will be,
especially her.
they'll be begging for the, to come to therapy times and we won't be able to get rid of the other people.
Another thing we're having problems with, his son lives in Mermentau.
Uh-huh.
He can't handle the ride. When he's coming home, he's freaking out. He says he hurts, he rocks,
So, Mermentau, there's a lot of curves going to Mermentau, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of G-force curves. Who's driving?
Me.
She drives like a maniac.
Well, if I drive normal, he gripes at me, so then I'll speed up, but then he'll gripe at me that I'm swerving in and out. So.
You know, perfect when we met, but then I like to zip around traffic, and I encourage her to. So now she drives on me and drive me nuts.
Well, realize that the same thing is true. Your vision when you're riding is part of that whole balance system is your vision. So if you're, or where are you sitting in the vehicle?
Passenger,
Passenger side?
in the front.
Okay. And when you're going there, it doesn't bother you?
No, it just when we drop him off, it's like boom. About 5 minutes after dropping off on the way back, it started.
And I'd have to speculate without knowing the route.
Mm-hmm.
There is a curve that goes
Mm-hmm.
probably, let's see, I'm going to say it goes that way.
Right.
Yep.
Mhm.
Right when we leave his house, it goes left.
There it is. So when we're on the wall and we do our rotations today, you'll be able to see how much more reactive when he turns one way versus the other. And so that's probably the culprit. I've had some people who, it's funny sounding, but I had a kid with, or I've had a lot of kids with vestibular problems similar to this, who wouldn't let you turn them at all. Like they would literally make turns only one direction.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it wasn't getting better for them. So one of them, when they became a teenager, they got a golf cart, and she was so excited because I taught her how to drive it and all that stuff. She would drive circles to the right around that tree all day long. Would you make her go the other way? She might do one, but that'd be it.
It's an S curve just before his house. It goes to the left and to the right.
Uh-huh.
When he come back, it's to the left and then to the right.
Uh-huh. Yep. I would put money on that being.
Because by the time we get over towards Moss Bluff, he's done.
And so realize that's a more than likely anxiety from a vestibular response. So one of the things you can do that will help is slow down. Okay?
You hear that?
Like it or not, the forces of the turn is, it's like getting sick when you go to a carnival.
Right.
So his
That's
system.
exactly right. I feel
That's what I
nauseous
felt.
and all bending over to try to stretch my back and.
Yep. And the answer is going to be real simple. The answer is going to be actually doing rotation the opposite direction. That's what settles it down. But also knowing that and being able to predict that that's what's causing it lets you do some preparatory things like you want to make sure the vehicle's very cold. People, when they get car sick, need to be cold.
Cold.
Okay? They also need to have the ability, especially when we're riding in a vehicle, to include the vision on the side that's closest to movement Okay?
Mhm.
Because what happens to make us car sick is that the movement of our peripheral vision can try to sync with our central vision and start stimulating us to have like a difference in how aligned our vision is, literally.
Yeah.
So if you even do where you don't see out of the peripheral here, will dramatically change it.
My aunt, she had a stroke, and she can't ride on the highway. She can go on the feeder roads because you're not moving as fast.
Uh-huh.
But she can't get on the highways and seeing all the cars going by real fast
Same
and
thing.
stuff.
And so, one thing you can do for that is usually the person doesn't have it affect them so much. If you know, and I know it's probably not at the point where he's allowed to drive yet, but if they're the driver, that helps. Sitting in the center of the vehicle helps. If you know that it's one eye that triggers it more than the other, then sitting on the side of the car where that eye's towards the center of the vehicle dramatically helps.
Because I know we can go to Port Arthur and he has no problem because it's straight.
Right?
But Mermentau, you got
You got
curves when you get to Jennings
and
and
it was like,
It's about the same distance.
yeah.
It's not about how far it is, it's about those curves and the G-force, especially if you get any speed up.
Well, he'll get in pain and he'll start telling me to hurry up and get home. So then
He doesn't know what's causing.
So then I'm hurrying up and swerving in and out.
Boom, boom, boom.
See, and I put money on it being the same protective response, triggering in and happening. What kind of sunglasses do you wear?
I don't wear any.
Okay. It might be worthwhile to do if you're riding. You know, it's just a simple
Little guard.
The wrap around.
The wraparound,
Mhm.
so you don't get so much peripheral stim.
Okay.
And that typically helps a lot. You still got a good twitch in this tricep.
Yeah.
That's what people. I'm gonna put this a little bit tighter. I'm not hurting it at all.
No. Yesterday, the nerves, I could feel them twitching, and then this morning they were twitching.
Well, that's one of the biggest description when you go back in the literature, because I was looking to see, okay, why would this muscle want to do? And what it said was, this one turns on when there's trigger points and pain in these others. Especially, this one especially does this lateral side of the arm, when the triceps have a trigger point right through here, which is exactly without us doing anything where you know, it's just real confirming to me.
Yeah, I know at nighttime I'm thinking about switching sides with him. Because at nighttime, if my pillow accidentally touches him, he freaks out. You know, and I don't know what I'm doing when I'm sleeping. So.
Well, there's another factor I wanted to talk about too. There's another reflex, and it's one that we'll be able to integrate. But in particular, there's one that causes a lot of just heightened response too when your head is tipped back. So, are you laying flat when you sleep, or you got some propped up?
Flat.
Okay, so we might need to do a little being propped up a little bit.
I'm trying to convince him into getting one of the adjustable beds. Because it seems like when he was in the hospital, he was all right because he had it inclined.
Well, and the simple thing you can do to help yourself know that for sure would be start out just with prop some extra pillows. You know, we'll have to talk about how to do that where it supports the arm well enough. But it's amazing how many people I've had that when they would say they couldn't lay flat because when they would do, they would have that panicky feeling, and it would be also what's making this whole tendon guard want to be on all the time too.
When I feel that pillow, it feels like the weight of the world on me.
Almost like you being stuck, right?
Yeah, and I fear that I can't get out.
Yep.
Because I have to have a pillow in between my legs, and that's the one that will get on his arm.
Okay, straighten your elbow for me. feels any better.
Yeah.
And so we can do a little taping, nothing real dramatic, just something that keeps the trigger points from settling in here. It still has, so it's still really good. Just go ahead and get it complete.
You need it?
Yep. Yeah, protective responses are really, they suck until you know how to recognize they're happening.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, they suck because literally when they trigger off that lower brain, then your body's just at their mercy. But once you realize what's happening, you can start to, like I said, doing things to calm them and calm the reflex down and change it, especially improving the balance system, the vestibular part of it is once we get that going, I think this will be way less. I think the arm is just showing us a secondary effect of how sensitive that system is.
Yeah, I know at home he doesn't turn his neck whatsoever. He will turn his whole body.
That's right.
Instead of just turning
because
his
when
neck.
Your vestibular system is very sensitive. That's what you do to compensate. Exactly what you do. I'm gonna leave this right here, and while this is just kind of sitting here, let's do some work with the vestibular stuff. Okay? So let's do sitting. Just turn this a little bit to me, and then let me grab a couple of worksheet pieces so you guys can. You're looking for is to make sure, or he's looking for, is to make sure that the wording stays clear, because when it gets blurry, that's when the eyes are not working and staying on target, which means the system is kind of releasing, and that's when you're going to get dizzy if you're riding in a car. This is why people cannot do, and so as he gets right here, if you were to watch from my angle, you'd see that his eyes went clink clink. And so we want to be able to go all the way out to the side, and then when he gets here to the front, make a smooth transition and keep going all the way around this side. And go ahead and take back over. And so your job when you're watching him is to watch and make sure there's not a jerkiness you see in his eyes if you're helping on this side.
Okay.
And then as he's doing it, if he's not paying attention to whether it's getting blurry, then I watch and I'll call him out if I see the little jerk in the movement of the eyes. We're going to do 10 of those. Let me know if it gets blurry.
Unless it ran out.
And the good thing I see at this rate of speed right now is I don't see a big jerk as he's crossing midline with it right now. And so yeah, we want full rotation. Because over time, we're gonna want this to be faster.
Mm-hmm.
Despite what's in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're also going to want to be able to do it and maintain your balance while you stand. So one of the worst places to trigger this vestibular stuff, believe it or not, is walking down the aisles in a store shopping. Especially like I've had more than one patient tell me that if they were in the grocery section at Walmart, they just panic because there's so much stuff. If they're moving at any rate of speed, it sets it off.
She probably did, I just can't remember. Probably all I got is trying to get out. For some reason, it's like coming into my mind.
Got 7.
So I feel like she did say something like that, I just can't remember at the moment.
So he's gotten a little fast on that last one. You see that? And if I didn't have a patient do any other exercises, the vestibular ones are more important to me even than some of the arm exercises. Because the arm comes along, he's got movement, there's not a problem there. He's got so much protection though. That was good, Rusty. Okay. So go ahead and take a break right there. So that is called ×1 viewing. I love the way they laid this out. So we're doing horizontal. And we're doing it with your eyes open. And then we're doing it sitting with the back support. And like I said, as we get better, as he could do this same thing, imagine that our highest level would be standing on something that's soft, doing it with a higher rate of speed without losing his balance and without it making your eyes move out of place. That's when we know this is doing very well.
Okay.
That's going to be our ultimate goal. But right now, we're going to do it with the back support on there. On Thursday when we did it, even laying down with the mat, you know, we had to work on going slower because it would set it off. Just because natural instinct is go fast, you know. And for this, what we want to do is go slower. Let me go get you a bottle of water.
Oh, I got a bottle.
You got a bottle?
Yeah, right there.
Now, so card stays right here, and all you're going to do is turn your head, but keep your eyes on the card.
What?
So look right here, and turn your head side to side. You have bifocals?
I don't know what they are. It's
So,
just reading glasses.
Just reading glasses? Okay. So bifocals will be where the lens in the bottom. Okay. And that's almost a little fast. You saw the little jerk?
Yeah. It seems when he goes that way, his eyes jerk fast.
And so what we want him to do is actually go slower. See how he lost fixation? Okay. And I think right now he just needs a break to drink water.